very, very inspiring. This canto is called Descent into the Night. And when I read those 4 lines, they were like, wow, this is where I am, and this is what I have to go through. So I'll just read it to you. A lie was there the truth, and the truth a lie. Here must the traveler of the upward way pause, or pass slowly through the perilous space, a prayer upon his lips, or the great name. So I'm staying with that. And the other thing which I just want to read, because to balance what is happening, is to also see that, especially in the context of Auroville, it's been very interesting for me in terms of, you see, we've all poets have written, let's say, poetry of protest. At some point or the other, we've all been shaken by something, and we've written those, and I've written those. But this is a very different situation. And to find the point of truth of both sides, that is where, when I read Sri Aurobindo's future poetry, what he's talking about, that revelatory power of poetry, that. So I'm just going to read you one poem, which is called The Iron Dictators. So, I looked for thee alone, but met my glance, the iron dreadful four who rule our breath, masters of falsehood, kings of ignorance, high sovereign lords of suffering and death. Whence came these formidable autarkies? From what inconscient blind infinity? Cold propagandist of a million lies, dictators of a world of agony? Or was it thou who borest the fourfold mask, enveloping thy timeless heart in time? Thou hast bound the spirit of this cosmic task to find thee veiled in this tremendous mime. Thou, only thou, canst raise this invincible siege, O light, O deathless joy, O rapturous peace. I think I'm just giving you the context of, do you all know a little of what is happening here in Auroville? A little bit, some of you know, okay. So it is, Auroville was born as a city. We have a city plan, specifically an urban plan for an urban experiment, to which, after Auroville was already inaugurated in 1968, we didn't have a green belt. It came afterwards. Somehow, of course, a tremendous work was done in the terms of, we were brought into a barren land in which this had to happen. And yet on this barren land, the mother saw this incredible, unique, ambitious city plan. But it was at the same time a very sustainable, ecological, a plan of social equity, very far-reaching in terms of mobility and so on. Now, what happened when we were on the barren land? We planted trees, and we did a magnificent work of that. Now it seems where we stand is that we cannot let go of those trees. We cannot let go of what we have achieved to be able to achieve something further, which was the aim of Auroville. And I think that is a journey we are making together. There is, it's difficult. And we will have to come through it, I guess. Thank you.
Thank you, Anu. Anu. So, very similar sounding names we have. So, over to you, Anju, if you can say a few words, and then we can start with the point.
Anu is involved with a situation right now which many people here may not know about. So, and especially the online audience. And I think there has been agitation in Auroville, not here, outside, outskirts, I guess. And it is pretty complex to describe. But Anu has been at the heart of it. I have interviewed her before, and I want to ask her another question. Does this mean that a very direct question, does it mean that the government is, I won't name, but our Indian government is interfering in the plans and lives of Aurovillians, which is causing this distress?
It's the opposite. It is the very opposite which is happening, because the plans are there and we have interfered and not allowed them to happen. And there has been a large part of the community which is waiting for it to happen, which has been sabotaged, or whatever maybe that's a heavy word, but that has been blocked. And what is being cleared now and being called a forest is the heart of our urban plan. It is our city center. It is the crown, around which you will have all the activities, creative works, services, and it's meant to be a pedestrian zone largely, with gardens and trees, many things. So all these things have not been well communicated or hidden from our own people. So the fight has become about these trees, which is totally pointless, because by taking out those trees just to clear and set the thing, we can actually replant, not only on the crown, but we can also take that commitment has been made, that we can actually plant 4 to 10 times more in the designated green areas. Auroville has 50% or more than 50% green areas within the city area, plus there's a green belt. We don't have all the land yet, but it is designated. And even if we don't have the full green belt one day, another thing we ourselves have blocked is something called our land protection, which allows for certain environmental and other guidelines by which we can also live harmoniously with our neighbors and the bioregion.